Peace, family. We're going to get started in just a minute. Hey, BB. We live.
Look,
We live. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
thanks.
That's nice.
Thank you.
All right, family. Y'all know, like, especially the people who follow me on a regular, y'all know, like, I'm on a spiritual tip. Y'all know that, like just like I said, and just like I teach, that, we're responsible for our actions. And, I try to practice that in my everyday life. I'm about peace, love, and light, and sharing love and light. So, and I'm like that when it comes down to any and everything. So, like, by all means, that I have ignored a lot of things, and that I didn't want to do this, like, it's like I didn't want to have to get to this point of doing this, but it's like some people have told me that like I should have done this a long time ago. Um and like I was just hoping that like it ended, like it ended, and like, because peace is what like was searching for. Okay. And when I keep hearing my name and my character slandered, it leaves me with no other choice but to address this. Because like everything, one of the best parts of this, and y'all keep in mind, is most of this stuff is documented on video. So you're gonna know that I'm not the one lying, and you've heard the stories. Like, and so like, you're gonna know that like what I'm saying is accurate and real, because it was mostly documented. And for like people to be coming out now trying to say this, that, and the other, when it was actually the opposite way. And when these people are saying all of these things, when I'm actually nothing like they say I am, I'm actually the opposite. I have to clear my name, because it's like this has gone on too far. And I just have to clear my name. So basically BB, like, she wanted to come on and sort of help coach me through this. And she's gonna sort of go with some questions and different things. But like, I might go off a little here or there, or like towards the end, if I feel like I haven't gotten everything out, I'm going to make sure I get everything out, because it's very important. Now, there's like, for a lot of reasons, there's a lot of stuff that I did not say and have not said, due to the fact that, like, I don't like to make, like, if I'm a friend, I'm a friend. And so, like, regardless of, friends get into it all the time. And, like, have issues and stuff like that all the time. And so, um, I'm not gonna make you look bad. And then I'm like this, like, even if you do so, I don't believe that two wrongs make a right. I believe that somebody has to be the mature person in a situation. And like I said, I try to operate off my spiritual. It's about love. And I think that every time that we encounter people is for a reason. It's either going to be a lesson or a blessing. So I try to handle things in that fashion. And I try to, just like, I've never had, like, most of the friends I have, I keep. And they would, like, if they were to sit here today, they would tell you that none of that stuff could be true. Even my exes, we're still cool, and they would tell you that none of that stuff is true. So I'm gonna let BB introduce herself, and we're gonna proceed on as possible. But I had to tell y'all, like, why I'm coming on and why I'm doing this, because it's like, consistently my name is being slandered. Consistently, people are out here, they're not even critically thinking that this stuff cannot be true, and they're repeating it. And so, like, and I've avoided dealing with it, for a long time. And so now I just have to. But go ahead, BB.
What's going on, everybody? I'm BB Nice, and I agreed to come on to do this interview with QI because it's a lot of narratives around, and they need to hear her side for once. And she didn't want to do it. She wanted to just keep calm and let things take its natural course. But at this point, it's to the point where They're really trying to destroy her mentally, physically, emotionally. And I'm not really agreeing with all of that. The first thing I want to ask you, QI, is did our panel fall apart?
Absolutely not. The reason why we have not, been doing the women empowerment panel, and the reason that we have not been doing the L word panel is because, just like with DC Kool-Aid, the night that I went over there, I was showing love, and I was tipsy because I had some stress, like some stress or whatever, and like VS ended up doing commentary on it or whatever, and commentary and stuff like that on it. Like, but we overlooked that, nobody really, tripped about that. And then, she even said derogatory things like about you, as well as with the J Dunn, and when J Dunn and like several times with the J Dunn, and they ended up arguing back and forth. And really with the J Dunn situation, that's what it was. Like, that was like, okay, like, so what I'm gonna do for y'all safety, and to keep y'all out of the mess, we're not going to do these panels like, we're not going to do the panels at this time, because I did not want to drag you all into the mess, because it was like, like people started getting into it, and I didn't think that that was fair to y'all. Plus, just like, just like somebody once said, I think it was Jay Wilson, he was like, one of the reasons why I'm not successful is because I was affiliated with VS. And like with VS, and because of a lot of the negative commentary and things like that, like they like that she was doing on us and the panel and different things of that nature. So I didn't think that it was fair, like, it was my situation, and I'm just that type of person. I didn't think it was fair to DC Kool-Aid, yourself, and Jay Dunn. So I decided that like, we were going to just take a break or whatever, so you guys could have a chance to grow, and y'all wouldn't be pulled into the mess.
Okay, that's understandable, but once I met you and I got to know you, I really like you as a person. I'm always going to support my LGBT community no matter what. I am a lesbian, and I agree wholeheartedly that we need to stick together. This is why I joined your panel, and this is why I rocks with you, and I rocks with you heavily, and I support you in everything that you do. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Now, I want to know, how did you and VS meet?
Well, first of all, I was supporting the Wiley show. Like the Wiley show, and I think Miss Gina Queen of Talk, they were like two of the first people in this sector that I ran across. And so, like, pretty much at that time, I was heavily supporting, Miss Gina and the Wiley show. I used to call into Wiley shows, a lot of different things. I thought he was a decent person, and I was, trying to, support him. So like VS started coming onto the panel, and I sort of got a wind of her channel, whatever, and I went over. And one day it was like, she was like, "Who is this Quigwaltam Indian person? I've seen you around or whatever. Can you call in?" So I called in, and I told her, I said, like, one of the things, because I had found out about the Tanaya Nelson story over on the Wiley show. And so, I told her, I said, like, one of the things that, like I said, things that I like and admire about you is the fact that, so many victims and stuff don't get a chance to speak out. And speak out and stuff like that. And I admire the fact that like you've given this young lady a voice. And I told her that I too was a victim of child molestation. And I also told her about like some of the documentaries and stuff that I had on my older channel that I was doing with Black church abuse and stuff like that, to expose those types of abuses. But after I called in, like, so it was pretty much I called in, and then I just like started supporting, like her on the regular, because I admire and appreciate the fact that she stuck her neck out there, for Tanaya Nelson.
So after that first encounter, did you guys start to communicate offline?
Not immediately after that first encounter, but like it was like after, like, it was like this thing with Miss Gina. There was this thing like with Miss Gina Queen of Talk. Like I told you, I was over there supporting her as well. And Miss Gina had said something about like she was homeless. And like I have a big heart, and and I knew that PSCC and all of them like were like helping, donating money and different things like that. And so, and I didn't know because like I was fresh in the sector, I didn't know like about their previous beef or whatever. So like I reached out to VS and I told her about it. And I was like, like is it possible to help Miss Jenna Queen to talk? And then that's when they pretty much started running down, they like she sort of did that type of stuff all the time.
So fast forward a little bit. After everything and y'all got acquainted online and begin to start talking, at what point did you guys start to communicate offline, just the two of you? To say, to start y'all courtship, not relationship, but getting to know each other.
It was after that, and we were just like we were friends. I mean, like we were like this was like previous to DC or whatever, it was like about 5 months or whatever where we talked on the phone and different things of that nature.
So you guys were actually talking offline, communicating with one another for 5 months?
Yeah.
So that's a long time to get to know somebody. I mean, you could get to know somebody in 2 to 3 weeks, but 5 months, that obviously means that you guys were into each other. Y'all liked each other conversations. Y'all was looking forward to talking to each other. Y'all enjoyed each other's company on the phone or whatever, via text, whatever, offline.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, because we started off like as friends, and like we're from the same place, and like we even found out that we like know some common people. We like know some of the same common people or whatever. And a lot of times we would talk about, like all, types of different things or whatever. So like I like really valued and enjoyed her, friendship. I mean, it was like she would talk to my grandmother. My grandma would talk about, plants and gardening and stuff like that because, she was into plants and gardening and stuff like that. So she was just like the friends that I'm used to because, like I'm that type of person where, where like I have friends when we communicate and we get pretty close or whatever and we're there. And so she was just, she became, that type of person.
Okay, so there's no secret you are a lesbian woman. At this point, did those type of conversations arise? Is VS lesbian, bisexual, bi-curious, straight? What does she identify with?
She identifies with bisexual, and she identifies with bisexual.
Did that conversation come in to play in y'all communication? And you don't have to get into detail because that was personal, but were you guys communicating about those types of things, those types of subjects?
Well, I mean, like but yeah, it was like well, I mean, like when we first started talking, it was just mutually friends. And I mean, it was some attraction there. It was some attraction there. And, I even told her, I was like, but I don't want to ruin, like our friendship or whatever. But, like I'm the type of person, I do want to get it out there. I do want to be honest or whatever. So, we started off as friends. So like it didn't like initially it didn't matter if, she was bisexual or not. And pretty much how, like, I don't know if you want me to go, but I'm just going to go ahead and go into it. But it's like, pretty much, like how, like it started was we did a 10-hour live and Rob called in.
Wait, before you go in there, I just want to ask, before that 10-hour live, how long had you and VS been communicating?
Probably like, 2 or 3 months. We have been communicating.
Okay, so now we're into the 10-hour live with Rob, and what happened?
Well, like we did a 10-hour live and Rob called in and like we had been through like a lot of little things and stuff like that with Rob, but basically like me and Rob, like I was a support of Heidi and I was roasting Rob or whatever like in Heidi's chat one night, because I was like one of Heidi's first supporters. And so anyways, like there was a lot of, like the beefs ended and I ended up realizing that, Rob wasn't that bad of a person. and I support, like, and we communicated or whatever. So like I ended up supporting A Rob on the basis of, like, some of the commentary and things that she does, and the fact that she was a lesbian, because you know how it is, we lesbians like generally like to support each other. And so
Okay, so doing that live, what
during
occurred to, kind of push this
So during
courtship
the
along?
live or whatever, she was like, like we used to tease each other. So, she was like, she said, look at QI and see, and she was like, QI, you, as hard as you ride for VS, y'all ought to get married. And then she was like, I believe y'all love her. And so, anyways, after then we like VS did a dating, she did, like, we did this little dating thing or whatever, where I, called in or whatever, and I was asking questions. And so at that point, it's sort of like, it sort of started
It started going a little further into.
but see, I was like, at that time, I was unsure, because you know how like it is when it comes down to people who are bisexual. So I've always like sort of had that, like, in the back of my head.
So for people who don't know, when you are a lesbian and you're a stud aggressive, what's the main problem with dealing with bisexual women, bi-curious women? What are the main issues that studs have with that?
Well, for one thing, it's like, okay, like when you're dealing with people who are like, when you're dealing with somebody and they're not completely out of the closet, or it puts you in the closet, because like, for because you sort of have to go with their flow or whatever. So like, whereas you're freely out, and you're comfortable with yourself, you sort of have to, like, because you're in a relationship, you sort of have to go with their flow. Plus, like, a lot of times when people are, like, bi-curious, bisexual, they're, just say they're not like that
They don't really know what they want. They just
they don't
playing
really
around.
know what they want. They're just playing around, and they go back and forth. They go back and forth, and a lot of times it's like you don't want to invest a lot into that. A
Now,
lot.
going into that, had that been had that been communicated with VS at that time, that wasn't what you were looking for?
Well, like, it was like, I'm gonna be honest. There was some attraction there. I was unsure. Like, it's like I was battling. It was like, most of all, just like I told her, I was like, I said, it's more important that I savage our friendship, like, because you know how it is. Sometimes you meet people, and like, you're really meant to be friends, and sometimes you're meant to be, lovers or whatever. And so it's like, when like, I kept reiterating that, like, I did not want to mess up our friendship. I said 10 years from now, especially since we're homegirls and stuff like that from the same place, that 10 years from now, I want to be able to pick up the phone and laugh, or whatever, and like, it was this interview with Nate Robb, where Nate Robb interviewed VS. And so during that interview, Nate Robb asked VS, she was like, can you see yourself, marrying a woman? And she was like, no, probably not. And then so Nate Robb said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm just playing around. So like, after that, like, so after I heard that, like, like, it really stuck in my head or
A
whatever.
red flag went up,
Right. So
basically. Okay.
so like, so like, basically, it was like, we had, like, the first little like public display or whatever we had this whole Instagram conversation online, and I told her, I said, I heard that conversation, and like, and I told her, like, I would, that's when I told her, I said, 10 years from now, I want to be able to laugh. I'd much rather be your friend, like, I'd much rather, be your friend than to mess up, like, our friendship, like, dealing with the relationship. I said, I heard what you said, and I said, I don't want to be played with. I don't.
Okay. Okay. That very understandable. So after this
Give
point,
me just a moment, BB, okay?
okay, all right. Guys, I'm trying to get down to it. It's a lot of narratives going around, and I think QI should be able to express herself and tell her side of the story. It's not to bash no one, it's not to make nobody feel a certain way, although that's, on other platforms, a lot of that's been going on, but that's neither here or there, because QI is not like that, and she just really want her story out there. And I agree 100%. Should nobody be able to tell it better than you? Um. Okay. So I can't hear you, QR.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Um,
So
that's for that.
okay. So going forward, let's just fast forward a little bit. Now, after this dating game, you and VS is still communicating. Y'all are still talking
Mhm.
behind the scenes. How often are you guys communicating?
Like we used to talk pretty much every day, and pretty much like the majority of the day, and like sometimes like at night. Like I used to put her to like my whole little thing is like I got to make sure you get some rest. I'm gonna put you to sleep at night, so at night. So we talked a lot.
Okay. So as far as you're concerned, at this point, you guys are really just doing, you guys are really just trying to build, and not so much as a a lover's relationship, but a friendship, if you will. Okay. So is that where you guys were at that point? Just building a friendship, if nothing else? Or did it get a little deeper where you guys starting to talk about being together in a relationship?
It got a little deeper. It got a little it got a little deeper. And although like I wasn't, like I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take this one day at a time. I'm gonna, just like you do any other like try to relationship, friendship, you try to get to know the person. You take it one day at a time, you go as you flow as you go. And
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like I wasn't 100% certain that, like it was it would work out, but I was trying to maintain the type of trust, the trying to type of communication where
Mm-hmm.
if it did not, like if we got to any point, like especially with her, I wanted her to know that it's like we would be able to talk about it. Like we would be able to talk about it because I always told her it didn't matter. I valued our friendship more, where we would be able to talk about it and it wouldn't savage our, it wouldn't savage our, wouldn't ruin our friendship.
Okay, so let's fast forward to DC. Now, I'm not talking about her planning with TSCC. I'm talking about what were you and VS plans for DC?
Well, like at first the plans did not include DC. What like okay, so after like we like we were venturing over into the we were into the more intimate area. It was like okay, she said, like if you don't come see me within a month or whatever, I'm it's gonna be over. And I said I could do that.
Wait. Back up a little bit. What's going to be over?
Well, she said if I didn't come see her within a like she was like if you don't come visit me or see me within a month, then she was like the like our intimacy, our friendship or whatever would be over. And I was like I could do that because at the time it was like we had already been talking. I had told her I pretty much needed a vacation and a break. I had planned to take a vacation and a break anyways. And so, I was like, it would be perfect because, like it would give me a chance to, like it was like killing two birds with one stone. So I was initially supposed to go see her and, pretty much, like TSCC wasn't, involved. And so I was trying to come up with a date and pretty much he was like, okay, well, that wouldn't be a good time because, my kids would be out of school. And I was like, okay, well, you just let me know like what would be a good time for you because I'm open and all I have to do is like pretty much reschedule with schedule. I had
So
to.
pretty much you were you wanted to take your time with coming to see her and arranging that time for you two. But instead, she needed to see you a little sooner. She really honestly gave you a date that you got a month and then I'm moving on.
Yeah, because at the time, like I was told by, like one of the members or whatever, like during DC or whatever. And see, I didn't know this initially, but at the time, like pretty much what it was somebody like it was somebody that she previously had, like an encounter with online that lived about an hour away and they never came, like they never came,
Okay.
so
So
like
basically, she wanted to make sure that
that I was
whatever you guys had been communicating, that this was real because she had been involved before and it wasn't real. It was just kind of like just talking and not showing, just
right,
talking the talk, not walking the walk. So
right.
with she needed to see that you were actually serious about whatever you guys were working on. So she needed to see you.
Right. So, and I took it, like, so, like, like, I, sort of took, plus I needed, the most important part was like, it's like during that time, I needed a vacation. I needed to get away because, like, pretty much since my aunt passed or whatever, it's like I went from one caregiving situation into like sliding into a 24-hour, 7 day a week, caregiving situation. It was like, like there was a lot going on in terms of me making decisions and stuff like that because I initially, when this all happened, I didn't make any plans. It just happened, and then it was just like first I thought I could do it, and then it was like no, like pretty much, like I'm gonna have to be able to let my other family step in, and I'm gonna have to be able to live my life. So the thing was, I was like, well, I'm gonna take this 2 weeks, I'm gonna blow it off, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna get back, get my head back together, relax, be free,
So
because
basically, y'all planned this trip, y'all planned this time to get to know one another and spend more time with each other. This was not you uh pushing yourself on her. This was a mutual thing.
right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, okay, let's go. Let's just dive forward a little bit. So, what were the arrangements prior to DC when you got to DC? Did y'all talk about if y'all was going to share a room, if you was going to get your own room, she was going to get her own room? What was the arrangements? Because I'm pretty sure y'all discussed, all right, when we get to DC, we doing X, Y, and Z. If you can remember, what was the initial arrangements when y'all got there?
Well, of course, my sister, like she had the discount, so the rooms and stuff had to be in my name, and like my name, and so I had to reserve the rooms and everything. So pretty much it was like, okay, we added on rooms or whatever, but pretty much it was just like, I was gonna come a day ahead of time. I paid for my own train ticket, like for instance, back and forth. I paid for my
Okay.
trip there, back
Okay.
and so like before DC, she was like, I might go home because it was like right after the DC gate, it was like 4th of July time. She said I might go home. And she said, if if I do go home, you could like, for the 4th, she was like, you could possibly ride, you might be able to ride with me. So instead I didn't get a 2-way, I just got a 1-way because, like, it was like, she might go home and, like, so we had that understanding. And pretty much, like I said, I took the train and stuff like that because I originally planned to like go away on vacation and stuff like that for at least 2 weeks, like.
Can we just debunk one thing really quickly because I see it in the chat? When you packed your belongings, were you thinking about moving in with VS permanently? Or were you just being a regular female, not knowing what you're going to wear from this day to that day? And we usually just overpack. I think it's been done many, many times before. But can you just really just let these people know that you were not planning on, or were you planning on spending the rest of your life at that time with VS?
Well, okay. Nah, I'm indecisive. See, like, okay, I'm a contract employee for my job and I travel a lot. And it's the same way when I, travel on my job. It's like, I feel like I like to be prepared. Plus, I like to dress and I like to coordinate. So I like to have like whatever outfit I have on, I like for the shoes to match. So I'm always, and shoes take up a lot of space. So, that's pretty much one bag for itself. And then I had a 50-inch luggage, and my dog sort of tore it up. So I had to go get new luggage, and I got a 30. And so everything wouldn't fit into the, like everything, all the shoes and everything wouldn't fit into the 30. So I had my duffel bag. I had a garment bag because like we planned to dress up when we went on the boat. So I had the garment bag. I had like the stuff that I was going to wear on the boat, like the shirt, the pants already, like ironed and, already together. And, I had that outfit alone in the garment bag. And then the other bag, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Like the other bag I had, if you count a laptop bag as luggage, then I had my laptop bag. And then, like, of course I was on the train. So, on the train, the food is very expensive or whatever. So like, and then, I try to eat healthy. So, and a lot of times you don't have those healthy options. So I had, like I had a bag that had like my snacks in it. And then the other bag was I do supplements And I do a lot of supplements and stuff like that, and I had like my personal hygiene stuff in there. So there was like my laptop bag, my snack bag, the personal hygiene bag, which was my 3 carry-ons, and the 2 that you get to check in was the garment bag and the duffel bag. So that was 5 bags, but it was not 5 luggage bags. And
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you wasn't relocating. Okay.
no, it was.
Let's just put that to rest. It's dead and it's gone. Okay.
In fact, wait. In fact, I only had I only had 2 weeks because like my aunt was caring for my grandmother like while I was away. So I only had 2 weeks. I had a deadline, so it's like I had a 2 weeks grace period. So I had to be back. It was like I had to be back before like her family reunion.
Cool. Okay. I hope you answered any questions that were out there. So let's move on.
And
so
now, for babe.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're heading to DC. We got the luggage packed. We ready. We ready to meet the queen. Y'all have been gearing up for this day for so long. So now you finally get there and you finally meet VS. I just need to know the atmosphere of first meeting VS for the first time personally, physically. She's up in your presence, and this is a person who you've gotten to know for about 5 months now, and you finally get to put a face to the voice. What's the emotions between the two? It had to be reciprocated. So, what was the vibe?
Well, I mean, it was like we shared that moment with the YouTube community. It was on video, and I remember a lot of people saying that they never seen VS smile or they'd never seen her so happy. And I mean, it felt like normal. It was like normal, like because like we became so connected and so close, like over the phone. So it was like our interactions, like it was normal, but it was like I was still nervous because it's like you're meeting this person for the first time. Like for the first time or whatever, but it was a pretty normal and it was,
I have to admit, I've been in the bushes for a minute and I watched VS for a long time. And that night, I remember watching her and she had the look on her face like she was so happy, so relaxed, so in her element. And I said it like, wow, I have never seen her look this happy before. And I was like, I was so on go for y'all. I wanted this relationship to really take off, really, because it looked like it was just bound to happen. It was destiny, and that's what it looked like. She was really in her element, and I really do. I remember that. But okay, so you guys, you spent y'all night together. Obviously, she was happy with what she saw. You was happy with what you saw. Y'all connected. Y'all went out into the world and let everybody see. After that, what began to transpire? I don't want you to go too deep into it, but what started to happen?
Well, I mean, pretty much during the DC trip, it was like, okay, so the next day, the first day, we was on a live stream pretty much, by ourselves because I arrived like a day early. A day early. So y'all pretty much saw the majority. Y'all pretty much saw the majority of everything on video because everything was done on video. But the next day, everybody else came in, and like I was like, like I was nervous. Like we had already talked about the fact that well, the team is coming in. She was gonna have to spend time with the team, so it was like. And I was like, okay, like I understood that, so it was like I tried to not, be overbearing, or I tried to,
Wait, I'm sorry. I don't mean to back you up a little bit, but so now the team is involved. It first started out with just you and VS, but then the team got involved.
Right. So the team.
Did you know that before DC, or did you find that out in DC?
Well, no, I knew it. Like, okay, when we first originally planned to do it, it was just going to be me. Okay. Then, okay, so what happened? Let me tell you what happened. So what happened was, she had talked about, they were going to do a meet and greet anyways. And, she said she wasn't sure about the dates. And so I was like, okay. So like, I mean, there was a big fallout or whatever. And then I was uninvited. Then I was re-invited. But then, Wiley also was coming or whatever. And so it was like from 28th to the 1st or whatever. So yeah, I knew like, I knew. And, really like, I didn't have any problem, with that at all. I mean,
Okay. Okay. So now her team is there. And what's the vibe? What's the vibe with you meeting the team? Everybody is together getting along. Like it seemed like from us looking in, it seemed like everybody was having a good time. There
it,
were some chinches in it, but overall it seemed like everybody was having a good time.
it was beautiful. Like I'm gonna say, see, I was nervous because it's like, really, I feel like the team used to give me a hard time. Like they used to say stuff like, they would say I was weird, and I was like, I'm not like that. And then they would say things like one time it was we did the Clement Greenleaf thing or whatever, and I just asked the question like, what is it that we can do? And I didn't mean like TSCC. I meant for anybody in the audience who might wanted to help Clement Greenleaf or whatever. And they said I was overbearing. So though, like VS used to always come back with things like the team says this person says that, and I was like, no, it's like not like that. So I was real nervous, like about me meeting, the team or
So the
whatever.
team, she was very influenced. She was very influenced by the team and what the team thought and said and things like that. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And
Okay.
so yeah, and so
Okay.
like I basically I tried to, it's like I tried to make sure that well, I was myself, but it was just like, like, okay, let me show them me. That's why I was like, let me show
Okay.
them the real me, because once people meet me or whatever, they generally get to see that I'm not like, I don't know how I come off like through type or text or whatever, but like I've never, like, a lot of people like me, like I don't have
Right.
issues with
So
people.
let me just so that I'm clear. You're not only meeting the woman that you had been communicating for so many months and wanted to have an intimate, not, and I don't mean sexual, but just to have an intimate encounter with. You're also meeting her people for the first time. So that's a lot of pressure. That's a
Yeah,
lot of pressure. And yeah, okay. I can just truly
and
imagine.
that's what I was like really nervous. And then they like, it's like I've never like I've done a lot of stuff, social pleasure clubs, fraternity, like I'm part of a fraternity, lots of clubs, went to college, a lot of things, and I've never had people, like the way that it was previously. I've never had people to, think that, I was weird. Most people like me because, like, really, they didn't get to see the full me or whatever. But then it's like I like to have fun, and think, and then I'm caring. I'm gonna go out like I'm gonna go out the way, for people, especially when I know, you're cool or whatever. So, I've never
Okay.
been that
So
type of
if you had to name 2 or 3 red flags that went off that you didn't think about then, but you think about now to cause the the downfall for UNVS per se in DC, can you just give me like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 if you have that?
Well, I don't consider DC to be a downfall, really, because
Okay.
okay, let me tell you why. Because like the entire time that we were there, y'all saw us on the cruise. Y'all saw we had one little like thing or so with like it was like with Cynthia R. But I came to her, apologized, and said I didn't really mean it, and she apologized. And then it's like before she left, she said, "QI, I was so wrong about you. You are the one of the nicest people I've ever met." And just like, Baylis or whatever, Baylis was, and I thought the same way, really about everybody. I I liked what we had. I liked, the way that everything, was, and we really enjoyed ourselves. And even Baylis was like, QI, you cooler than 2 fans. And so I'm just like, thank you. I feel like you cool too.
Can I just go back a little bit because I wanted to bump one more? Um, were you on your ministration
Thank you.
the night of your intimacy? Please tell me, because
Look,
you know.
I was not on my menstruation while in DC, period. Like, period. I was not on my menstruation, period. Okay. And like what they saw was like, okay, I had bought some new, like I believe in buying all new everything, underwear and everything when I go on a trip. And I had bought some they, I don't know, silk, whatever, they was like and I had them packed. I had them like on the bottom level of the duffel bag, and I had my white t-shirts and all my stuff in there. And like the dye of the red, whatever came off on like it was on my t-shirts, like it was on some of my t-shirts, and and I had like one pair of white Fruit of the Loom underwear, and and I think it had gotten on the underwear, but I wasn't on my period the entire time that I was
Did
there.
you have any sanitary napkins with you? Any tampons with you?
I like I had like in my travel bags, I always carry like a little bit of everything just in case, just
Okay.
like but like I wasn't on my period, but I
But
always
you wasn't on your period. There
right.
wasn't, she didn't see any period, no period, nothing. She didn't see no sanitary napkins in the bathroom, no nothing to lead the fact that QI was bleeding.
Right. And
Okay.
like when she said it, because she was like, because like when I saw it, I told Baylis, and and I was like, so why y'all didn't tell me? Because like the way I was raised, if somebody like the way I was raised, that's courtesy and that's part of sisterhood or whatever, to like pull a person by, because it's embarrassing and it can happen. So pull a person by the coattail and say, look, you got a little something on your clothes, and then let a person need to go to the bathroom or whatever and check themselves out. So I was just like, why y'all didn't, like, why, if you thought that, why you didn't tell me? But I wasn't on my period, I wasn't on my period.
Okay, so let's just fast forward. I'm just trying to, this is ridiculous, but okay. So you guys had a beautiful time in DC. You left DC. When you left DC, was the energy still the same? Was it better? Was it worse between you and VS?
All right, so like, okay, like the whole time the entire team was there, it was beautiful, and then everybody pretty much left, like it left, like with it being beautiful. The only person, like, okay, so everybody had like two people had left and they had made it home and everything, okay, and so like it was two people left that everybody was departing, and so we were supposed to be dropping Baylis off at the train station, and I mean at the plane at the airport, and we were gonna drop Cynthia off at home. Okay, so like we ended up going to the beach or whatever. So we're rushing out of there, to try to get Baylis to the airport. And VS realized that traffic's probably going to be bad and she's probably going to be running late. Okay, so running late or whatever. So not gonna make it or whatever. So she calls Cynthia, and Cynthia tells her, that they got the kind of ticket where you could with the insurance where like if you miss it, you can catch it the next day. It won't be null and void. So anyway, Baylis looks at her ticket. Then after we're already on the way, and she realizes that she doesn't leave till the next day. Okay, so pretty much I had like like I had already reserved and paid for rooms, like reserved 2 additional days or whatever, like for rooms, so like I already had a room, so I, no problem. And they would double bed or whatever, because really they moved out of a room and I moved in it. When they moved out, I moved in the room. So
Okay, all right. Okay, so Baylis stayed an additional night because she mixed up with the ticket, whatever, and she was leaving the next day, so she wound up having to stay an additional night in your room.
Right. All right. So we had found out at that same time that like I mean, we hung out. We went to the beach. We hung out. It was a beautiful time. Me, Cynthia B, and what you call. So we didn't find out. We didn't get back. Like after we dropped Cynthia B off, we didn't get back to the hotel until late. And then we found out that like we were gonna have to go pick up Wiley, and take him to the go pick up Wiley, because Wiley and Rico were getting into it and they weren't getting along. And first we said 9:00. And then, she was like, because of the traffic or whatever, we're going to do 6:00. So I already hadn't, I already like the whole trip or whatever. It's like I wasn't really getting a whole lot of sleep. So basically I went into the hotel, took a shower, I laid out my clothes, and, when I come out the shower or whatever, Baylis, was over there. She was listening to Five Babes Live, and it was a live that, she done. If you could look at the same dates, and she did the QI Critical Ugly, and I guarantee you it's on that same night before. like we were scheduled to, we got left, or we were scheduled to go pick up Wiley. And so, like Fabe was going in, QI Creole ugly, Creole Q. So, I'm trying to sleep, and I'm hearing all this negative, like about me. And really, I don't like pay that attention, but I just didn't want to hear it, and it won't have me.
So basically, Baylis, in your room, getting some rest, is playing Babes calling you names.
Right. So, I tried to wake up Baylis. I was like, Baylis, because I wanted her to either turn it down or turn it off. And so, she was like knocked out. And so
She
I had
knocked out. She didn't hear it.
So I had to listen to the whole live stream or whatever. But I didn't think anything of it. Okay, so the next day or whatever, I didn't think nothing of it, like, so the next day or whatever, VS calling, she said, I'm on my way. Okay, so I already, I just brushed my teeth, washed my face, threw in my clothes, and see, I was headed downstairs. I woke up Baylis, said, Baylis, come on, get up now, because she'll leave you. I said, if you come, you need to come on. So I said, I'm going downstairs to get some coffee. So before VS got there, I was trying to get downstairs to get some coffee. But by the time I got off the elevator and got to the front, she was already there, and that's when I looked at her. And, I went to get the coffee, but, just poured the coffee, grabbed the cream, and, got ready because I was going to fix it in the car. Because, I hadn't had a lot of sleep, and I needed I didn't know what I was going to have to expect, like with, Rico and VS getting into it. And I didn't know what kind of situation, was going to happen. I wanted to be alert. And I'm just a coffee drinker. I have to have some coffee in the morning to wake up anyway. So, I'm trying to grab that coffee so I could be alert. And she left. So everybody was mad, Baylis got down. We both mad. I was more or less mad because I'm like, why would you leave? I'm just like, why would you leave when, why?
Wait, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. So this is the day y'all are going to pick up Wiley.
Right.
And so when Wiley get in the car, the energy is like,
no,
already.
Back up. No, wait, you got to back up a little bit. Okay, so no, we got left. This is the day we got left.
Y'all wasn't even in the car when she went and picked up Wiley.
Right. This is the day we got left. So me and Baylis were both upset. I was more or less upset because of the simple fact that, I was more worried about her because Rico and her, had been getting into it. Rico had threatened when Wiley was at the casino or whatever to, to come and, roll up or whatever. And so, I was like, why would, I was mad because why, I was concerned. Why would you
leave?
Yeah. Why would put yourself in that position? So I begged her to come back. She was like, what, you gonna pay for the truck for an additional day? I said, if I have to, then I asked, I was like, should I take? I said, can we take a cab or something? To meet, try to get over there or whatever. And so she pretty much, we did a lot of back and forth arguing or whatever. So, anyways, this is when, this is the bad part, or this is when a lot of the friction and stuff, started to come in because, so Baylis, she sort of had gotten into a little attitude, and she was just like, she was just like, it was the end of the world and forget it, right? She no longer wanted to be VS friend or whatever. And I was like, you really not gonna talk? I was like, trying to talk to her, savage the friendship. I'm like, you're really not gonna, I said, yeah, I'm upset. I said, but it's not that serious. I'm not gonna, and so so it was several, we were pretty much around each other. And she said, look online and see if they live. And so I clicked, I looked, and for sure they were live. And so Baylis was like, so I'm gonna click in a view. And so when she said that, I was like,
oh, Baylis said that.
Yeah, Baylis said so. Oh, I'm gonna click in a view, and so she was upset. The whole time and stuff. It's like she was upset. Okay, so and I was upset too, but it was just not it was okay, we're gonna get past it because that wasn't my first time being there because we were supposed to go pick up the car and she left me. So it so it wasn't nothing that I couldn't have gotten over. So. Anyways, Baylis, she said she was going to call her cousin. She packed her stuff and said she was going to call her cousin. I was like, I said, you ain't got to do that. I said, VS will take you to the train station. She was like, nah, it was something about respect or whatever. And so, I was like, so you really not going to talk to her? And she was like, talk to her or whatever. She was like, nah, I'm done. So, at that point, So at that point, like VS, she had called and she was like, her and Wiley were on the way back, and she was like, be ready or whatever, because we're going to do this. So I didn't even tell VS that, Baylis had an attitude, because I was like,
It's petty at this point, and you
not
came to have a good time. Not her feelings wasn't petty, but it didn't make sense for you to be uh the one that's telling, because
well,
you guys are really trying to come together and have a good time. Am I
no,
correct?
no, it was more or less like, because I was hoping that when she saw VS, they would talk and they would work it out and they would mend whatever issue they had. Okay, so
Right. You was
like,
being a peacemaker.
right, I was trying to be the peacemaker, and so like Bailey said, told me that her son had went to he was in the hospital in the emergency room. So I even, like I told Bailey, I said, look, I asked Bailey, I said, you want me to tell VS? She said no. I said, you're gonna have to forgive me, but I text VS and told her that your son was in the hospital. I just want her to call you. I just want y'all to, and so like, okay, like, so then I text Cynthia R, and I was like, Cynthia R, I said, Cynthia, let me read it. Hold on a minute. One second.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let me show y'all right quick. Oh no.
Okay, we can see it good. Yes, it's coming by. Can you please talk to her and talk to Baylis and tell her to stick around she comes until she comes so they can talk.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
And so this is Cynthia R, and so wait.
Cynthia R. Hey QI meeting right now. Sirius is pissed beyond. I tried. Sirius is so loyal, respectful, and it's understanding, and feels she should have been given the same.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
so like, because I was trying to get her, because I thought like Sirius said she was gonna call her cousin. She had a cousin there to get her to take her to the airport. I was like, nah, VS will take her to the airport. And so I was trying to get her to stick around, but she ended up still being there by the time VS and Wiley got there. So, I'm like, good, so I'm hoping that they talk or whatever. But, Baylis basically, she was like giving us, and I told her, I said, look, I said, this is my room. I said, regardless of such, I said, you don't have to leave. I said, you can stay in the room until, like your cousin get here or whatever. I said, you don't have to leave another whatever. I'm not going to do you like that. And so, like, so I was trying my best, I was trying my best or whatever. And then even when VS got there, it was like we was getting ready to pull off, and VS said, go leave her the key. And so, I tried to, go leave her the key or whatever. And, she was like, nah, nah. And so then I was like, come on, get in the truck. I said, come on, get in the truck. I was trying to get her to get in the truck, and she said, nah, I'm done. So VS pulls up to her, and they get the arguing. And then, it was like we pull off. You know what I'm saying? We pull off or whatever. So, anyways,
So can I do you is this something else you wanted to say on behalf of that? Because I honestly wanted to know the relationship between you and Wiley.
okay, well, okay, like, okay, months before DC, like, I observed, and I had been noticing that, like Wiley was doing a lot of things and stuff like that, and it was sort of making it seem like, VS was involved, like the porn on the websites, and just like even, with the picture of Phi Babe. And when Phi Babe asked him to take it down and he didn't, she went to the church. So like a lot of people were saying or feeling like VS was involved, like the Miss Beverly situation or whatever. And so, and then, like, and this is a point that, like, VS changed. Like when she started dealing with Wiley, whatever, she changed. And then Wiley also like sort of upgraded and changed a little bit, too. Okay, so upgraded and changed a little bit too. So I told her, I had been telling her we were on Instagram. We even had started agreeing to not talk about him. And so, like I just stopped, talking about, him, because, like I didn't want her to get hurt. I saw where, just like he's admitted multiple times on all his live streams. We've all heard it. I all heard it, but we had an Instagram thing or whatever, and she basically was like, "Oh, you're jealous," and I'm like, "No, I'm not jealous. I see him as he doesn't respect women. I see him as he's like I see him as scamming. He's a scammer, and I feel like he's gonna get you in trouble and throw you under the bus. And we had an audience. This was on Instagram, and even, Brianna was like, "Oh, you seem like the jealous type," because VS was like, "Oh, you just because I was jealous." And I was like, no, it's not because I'm jealous. I was telling them straightforward, and I was trying to protect her because I did not want her to get hurt. And see, here it comes where, like, okay, he admitted all of this stuff. I don't even have to debunk it. He admitted every last bit of it, on his own lives or whatever. And it's like, but they tried to make me seem like, it was because I was jealous or whatever. And so, and I also, like, when we were in DC or whatever, I noticed like the way Wiley would do things. And let me go back, I'm glad. Wiley would do things or whatever. And Wiley, like when we're in DC or whatever, well, even before DC, the way he would say things and the way, and I was like, I said, Wiley's trying to break up the team. So I told the whole team, I said, Wiley is, I feel like Wiley is trying to break up the team. And I was telling them that because I did not want for it to happen. Okay. So like pretty much, everything, they got what I was saying. Everything was okay. Okay. So anyways, like Deshaun, like the day that the day with Baylis or whatever. Yeah, that's what I forgot. Okay, so Deshaun was with us. Okay, so and Deshaun can tell you if you feel like being honest or whatever. It was like we was in the truck, and that's when Cynthia R had called, and she said that she was like, "What is going on? Why is Baylis in a what you call like in an Uber, and she didn't have an accident?" And so, I'm already knowing like VS, like, like that they had talked previously and they knew, she knew, like Cynthia knew exactly what was going on or whatever. But I didn't say nothing because, like I want them to mend their friendship. I don't want to get, like I want them to mend their friendship. So the VS had me to call Baylis, right? And so I called Baylis. I said, look, I said, VS, you got that thing on you. I was like, VS said, you got the thing on your ticket where, you can stay an extra day and you can still travel tomorrow. And she said, if you need to go to the hospital or whatever, we'll come get you and go to the hospital. And so she was like, nah, I'm just going to try to make it home. Okay. So anyways, VS was upset. So VS started, she started. And so here come Wiley. These folks. And so, I'm mad because I'm trying to keep them together. So I was like, Wiley, I said, shut up. I said, you don't got nothing to do with this. Okay, so then he started up again. See, I was about to, light him up, the second time. You can ask Deshaun because I said, I'm like, I said, this ain't none of your business. I said, this ain't none of your business. Stay out of it. Like I was like, stay out of it. He was like, why are you talking to my friend like that? And I was like, because I knew what he was trying to do. These folks, because he didn't say it on his live. I told VS, you can't trust none of these people. He had said that before we went to DC. And like you can't trust none of them. You could tell by the tone. Go back and listen to the lives, is right there. And see, I'm a critical listener and a critical thinker. And so I hear these things. And so, like I picked up on the signal that now Wiley himself for the last month or two since they've been getting into it have been admitting it. And so like have been admitting or whatever. So pretty much like, and then like when we get back or whatever, see, Deshaun is real cool and he's my homeboy. And so like we VSI and Deshaun, like we went out to eat and we had a great time. It was a great time. Deshaun is a really cool guy. And and VS enjoyed Deshaun as well. She got along and enjoyed Deshaun as well. Okay, so so Deshaun, so when we get back or whatever, Wiley lied, talk about Deshaun and him that slept together. Okay, so like VS said call Deshaun and give him a heads up or whatever. So I called Deshaun, and Deshaun was like,
wait, ho, back up. Now you said Wiley lied and said that him and Deshaun slept together, and VS knew that was a lie and told you to call Deshaun and give him the heads up that he was about to be lying.
I'm not gonna necessarily. I don't think that she knew it was a lie because, you know, like at this time she believed.
Well, I ain't gonna say she knew it was a lie. She was going by what Wiley told
Right.
her
She believed
and
it's like
told you to call Deshaun and let him know what was about to go down.
right because
Okay, I take
she
that
knew
back. Okay.
everything. Like okay, because she believed a lot of stuff that you know Wiley was saying, and I was like, how can you believe this guy? How
Mm-hmm.
can you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with no jealousy and then like it's like I'm looking at him and I know how many times she had been hurt by other people, and I did not want to see her get hurt like she
Okay.
previously like by him. So I'm
Okay.
looking out for her trying to save her some hurt or whatever. So anyways, like she had me call Deshaun and give him the heads up. And so Deshaun it's like he basically, like he set Wiley up. He called
Okay.
me like, what's this going on? So he recorded Wiley, and Wiley admitted that, he was just doing it for, he lied and he was just doing it for clicks and views. Deshaun put it on his page. So, like Deshaun had told me about it. So I told VS, I said, VS, I said, Deshaun said, he has proof that, like proof a recording where, Wiley admits that he's lying. And so she still like really didn't believe Wiley said, Wiley said, Wiley said. So, anyways, after all of that, Deshaun put it up on his page, but people are still running with their narrative, and Dwight is still over there lying. But
Well,
if
you
you
know
go
what? We ain't even talking about Wiley or Deshaun. It ain't. I mean, we talking about Wiley, but not Deshaun. We're not even bringing that up. My thing is, I wanted to know. Now you telling me another red flags, a couple of more red flags that's popping up, and it has something to do with Wiley. And so after DC is said and done with, did you notice a change in VS's demeanor when it came to you versus
like when we first got like the whole time, like okay, when we were there like by ourselves or whatever. I mean, like we didn't get to do everything or everything or whatever that we had planned. I didn't get to do everything that I had planned, but then we like spent some time, and then when we got like out my whole way home, we talked just like normal. We started talking like
okay,
normal. So we talked and we were planning like the next trip or whatever, because she was like, next time I'm gonna, next time, I'm not gonna make that mistake again. Next time it'll, just be me and you and not me, you and the team. And I
so
was like,
that was definitely it wasn't a mistake that her team was there because I'm pretty sure she wanted to spend time with her team, but it was a mistake mixing the two because can you say that it took away from y'all benefiting from spending time with each other because she had to entertain two crowds.
right. And and she was exhausted. Plus, like after the drum, like after all of the drum and stuff like that, her mood was, like her mood
Right.
was different and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she was
Mm-hmm.
more frustrated or whatever because she was still like talking to these people. Baylis was calling, Cynthia was like
Right.
Cynthia, and then I'm still trying to get Cynthia and her to talk. Like, let me tell you, it was like she told me to text Cynthia like a point blank, straight up and down message, right? And so, I wanted them to talk so bad. I just text Cynthia. I said, Cynthia, can you please call VS? So, like Cynthia called, and for some odd reason, they both hot. And they ended up, like, they didn't end up, working it out like I thought so. And then, Cynthia was like, why you have me call? Why you have me call? I said, like, I was like, I wanted them to, like them to talk it out and to resolve it or whatever. Cause, it's like, especially Cynthia,
Okay.
like,
So technically you're trying to uh pan out their relationship. You're trying to make sure VS still has a team intact, everything is still on the up and up. What's going on with you and VS's relationship to the best of your knowledge?
well, like when we first initially got back or whatever, it was like, okay, we were talking on the phone and we were planning, like the next time I want to come for her birthday or whatever. Like I want to come for her birthday or whatever. So everything was pretty copacetic. And then it was like we started like I started a channel that was new. So like when I got home, it was like a lot of like I had to get the house back, together, grandma wise. Then, like I started doing lives or whatever. So that was like something different and new. And then, like we started doing eventually the Mess Express or whatever. And it's like I had to
How was
invest.
that experience, the Mess Express?
Um, well, like during like I like I wasn't camera. It's like I've gone on panels and stuff like that before with hangouts, but like in the content community, most people use their logos. They don't really like go on screen or whatever. And
Mhm.
I like hadn't just gotten comfortable, like I'm doing now, talking on screen
Right.
or whatever. So like with the Mess Express, it was just like it was giving me a chance, like, like I like doing it because it was giving me a chance to it was giving me a chance to get comfortable with the camera or whatever. But from time to time there were certain things or whatever, like where like I really did, like I tried, like it was like I like giving my own opinion. I like giving my own opinion. Most of the time it's like pro black conscious or whatever, and I was, do a positive spin or whatever. And but there was a few times, like where there was a few times where, like my spirit wasn't right, like what was going on, because
So some things was going on, and I'm not going to say when it started happening, but apparently at some point during the Mess Express, when you guys uh started engaging with other people, things started going on with you and QI. And tell me the first time you felt like things were taking a turn.
well, it was like, shout out to Tatiana. I like that video you did the other day, even though you shaded me a little bit, but
Shout out
people.
to everybody that's in the room listening to this. I know,
Yeah,
I
shout
know
out
we
to
got a little bit
everybody,
long-winded, but dude, Jesus, she gonna get to the bottom and to the meat and potatoes, is
well,
like I like to call it.
shout out to
But
everybody, a lot of, like supporters and stuff. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all know I have peace, love, and light. I love y'all. But um, what were we talking about?
well, I said I wanted to know at what point would you engage in now. Now we're bringing other people into your element yet again, and this time it's on a regular basis. Y'all are doing a Mess Express. This is
Oh,
something new for you. So when did things start to? Did you see things between you and VS changing?
okay, it was like one night, right? Okay, like every night or whatever, like we would talk on the phone or whatever. And it, like I had pride in it because I used to like when I used to say I want to make sure you get good rest or whatever, so your your stamina can be amazing. So I
Mm-hmm.
used to like like talk, sing, play music, whatever, and get her to go to sleep or whatever. So it was one night she called, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed she was talking real fast. So I'm critically listening. So I'm really, really listening. So she was like, "You sleep." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm listening." And she was like, "You sleep." And she was talking real fast. And then so all of a sudden she got mad. She said, "Well, I'm gonna go talk to somebody. I'm gonna go talk to somebody else or whatever." And she hung up. But see, like that used to often happen or whatever. Then the next day or whatever, it'll be fine. But like this particular time, it wasn't, and this was during like the 7 star, like when the 7 star situation started happening or whatever. And so I noticed at night that she wasn't herself, and that's what I was like. She thought I was asleep, but I was really trying to see what was going on with her because I noticed, like, it was different or she was changed,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So anyways, it was like, so after that we didn't, like, after that, I'll get up, I say, like, good morning beautiful, like I did that every morning. And she would call, like, most of the time, because she was the one going on live or whatever, like I'd say good morning beautiful, let her know I'm up or whatever, and if she wanted to call, she'll call. So she was the one that called, like the majority of the time, because she had
Oh, she
kids.
did.
Yeah, because she had kids or whatever, and like I'm flexible, so like I'm like, whenever
Okay.
you got time, you call or whatever. So, anyways, like like, and normally, like whenever she finished doing what she was doing or whatever, she'll call or whatever. But she,
Okay.
so she didn't, like she didn't, call or whatever. So it was like, next thing I know, like we're on the Mess Express, and all of this stuff is coming out. I'm like, we done talked since then, and why haven't you told me? Like, why didn't you didn't tell me any of these things? And like most of the stuff, like I said,
Name one thing that she said that you hadn't heard before, so it kind of took you on a loop hearing it for the first time in
I
front
was,
of everyone.
I
Huh?
remember she was like, why haven't you sent me any flowers or whatever? And see, pretty much we had just got.
Oh, VS like flowers?
Well, I mean, like, I didn't like, okay. I know she likes plants and I know she likes gardening, but like, in terms of, looking around the house or whatever, because like you try to pay attention to pick up on signs and stuff of what people like or whatever. So, I never got the, like she really liked flowers, but according to her,
And And pretty much y'all have been talking for about 6 months now, and that never came up that, you know, she liked flowers. Because usually when you get to know a person, they tell you the things they like, the things they don't like, and you never heard her say flowers, right?
I knew she liked candy, like for her birthday. That's why, you know, because I didn't want to send flowers for, because I was trying to do it a friendship way and not do it like a romantic way, you know. So I knew she
Okay.
liked candy, so I didn't want to send flowers because that would seem, you know, romantic. I wanted to make sure she had a gift, so I sent candy, you know, because
Okay.
that's, you know, I know she liked them, and that's not, you know, like doesn't have a, you know, like a romantic thing.
Okay, so now you guys are on the Mess Express, and now certain things now, honestly, the honeymoon phase is over. Now y'all really starting to get to know each other, and apparently, she seeing things she don't like, that she has a problem with. Is things starting to awry with you two relationship? Was it still going forward like it was in the beginning, or is it slowly taking steps back?
Well, I mean, after like everybody saw it after that day that, you know, all of that stuff came out, that was my first time hearing it. That was my first time hearing any of that stuff. And it shocked me too, because it's just like, oh my God. And like half of it wasn't true. You know, just like, okay, yes. Like it's just like, and then if some of the stuff bothered her or whatever, just like I showed her where I had money on my card or whatever, you know, if some of the stuff bothered her, I'm just like, why didn't we talk about this? You know, like before, you know, like off, you know, offline or whatever. Why am I just finding out about it on air? So it was a lot of stuff. It was like I just couldn't believe it. You know, like really, it was like it was a lot. You know, it was hard for me to process too, because you know, like I ain't never really been through nothing like that before.
Okay, so now what happened to end your relationship, period? Because it's a lot of things, like listening to you, it's like it came out of nowhere, honestly, you
Right.
know. But apparently it was things going on, and I guess we'll never know. Maybe you knew something, maybe you didn't know something she knew. Maybe she didn't express things, other things. I mean, she said it on her live. She has voiced her opinion about you plenty times. But again, these are things that you didn't know, because if you wasn't looking online, you wouldn't know these things. These are not like private conversations y'all having. This is out displayed into the public now. So
Well, and then see, like after that big public display or whatever, like, you know, with I can't even remember the chronological order. All I know, it was just big, and I was shocked. And so, like, I wasn't, you know, like we weren't, you know, like a lot of our communication and stuff, like was through, you know, Lady Nika or whatever. So I was like, why do you think she did that? You know, because I was confused, you know,
okay.
and like, okay, so I didn't know, like, okay, so I'm still we still doing the Mess Express, you know, and I'm still, you know, like, I'm trying to, okay, we friendship mode or whatever. So, you know, like, I'm trying to friendship mode, but then, like, her attitude was still, like, bad, you know, because I'm like, if friendship mode will stop this, then, you know, that's like, I'm like, cool, that's what we need to do, because I don't want to be disrespected or anything like that. And, you know, that didn't feel good. That hurt. You know, because
Mhm.
like I said, it's one thing for somebody like a lot of these people, like most of the people that over there, Brianna and all them people and stuff, they don't know me. You know, like she knows me. She's the only one that, you know, like I ain't gonna, you know, that knows the most about me and know who I am. And she knows that I'm not none of these things that, you know, she's saying. I'm not a stalker. You know, I've always said I don't care, I don't mind about being friends or whatever. Um, excuse me. Um, you know, like, and you know, like, I'm not a dramatic, you know, like, just like, for instance, just like, you know, lately, like, I've been hearing her say a lot of, you know, the right, like, it's like a lot of things or whatever that, you know, like, people have told her, and I'm like, that's not true, you know, like, that's not true. And like, see, I want, this whole purpose of this is because I need to come on here, because like all of these people have been out here and they're like saying stuff that I'm not, like they're talking about the opposite of who I am, and it's been going on for a long time, and I've tried to overlook it or whatever, you know, I've tried to overlook it or whatever, but then it's just like, you know, it's like, and I thought that it would end, but it just seems like it keeps going because it's like almost every day or whatever. Like I just started like watching her again lately because before I couldn't tolerate it because like it hurt or whatever. You have to
Right.
protect your energy, you have to and then protect your your feelings or whatever. So, anyways, like lately, it's like okay, this person said I did that, and so like I've been responding. I didn't do like no, I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So people are going to, let me just say that people are going to have their own opinion about this whole situation. It's nothing that you or her could say because they've seen it in real time. So they're going to make up their own narrative. But going forward, I'm just wanting to know. I know that you know, before things got really, really messy, you did want to at least have a friendship with VS, if nothing else. That's
Well,
all you really wanted.
well, like okay, like when she was going in hard or whatever, like because like here's the thing, like my whole thing. Let me go back a little bit. My whole thing was okay, like when this happened, I was confused about it, but I'm assuming that when she calms down or whatever, we'll talk about it, and like it'll work. It's like we'll end up working it out, some kind of way. Because like I said, it's aimed at peace. But I noticed like it was like after that, she went online and she was talking about my grandma, my sister, like, and then so that's when I called her and I was like, I said, wait a minute now, because like I had did a live stream my grandma, like like I've told you, like my grandma, like my grandma, like the time that she lost, misplaced her purse, it frustrated me. She started going, it frustrated me. Just like the time I went to the dentist, and then next thing I know, she getting out of the car with my crackhead cousin. And and I'm like, where you been? And she talking about walking up the street looking, going to look for me. So
Yeah, I mean, these are things that's going on with an elder person. These are things that it might not be the exact same scenario, but we all go through different things when we're dealing with elderly. However, um, it's not to be made fun of. It's not to be talked down to. And when a person, when you when you say that you care for a person, you can be in love or not in love, but when you care for a person, there are just certain things you don't do. There are just certain ways you do not treat a person, and that's just coming from a human being with a heart, with compassion.
and that's like why I can't do like that's why like I haven't gone back in. Let me get like that's why I haven't gone back in on like nobody can ever say that they heard me bash her or say anything. In fact, like the majority of the time, the first thing I say straight up is we're not this not gonna be a bashing session. I'm not gonna bash her. I still love and care for her. Even when I did the interview, I talked about nothing but like what we had already did. And the reason like on people saw on DC, and I respect Fi Babe for that because she honored her word. Because before I said, look, and I told her exactly why I was doing the interview. I was doing it to take my power back because it's like she kept going. And and I didn't understand why she was doing it, and I wanted her to stop. And it was just like when I called her, and that's when I said I'm going online. So when I went online, like I'm halfway in between, like starting to talk or whatever, and she shuts down my channel. And so like, and I was just like, woo, is this how is this gonna stop? When is it gonna stop? Like, and I never like I
There's no off button. Whenever she feels like she want to stop, that's when she's going to stop, and that's just the reality of it. Qi, I just want to say that I commend you for telling your story. And at this point, it's like, I'm not saying your feelings aren't valid, they are, but I hope for nothing else that you're not looking for a response. I hope you're not looking for some compassion. I hope you're not looking for her to, finally realize that everything how she went about things may have been done a little differently, thinking about it. But from this day forward, where are you mentally and physically, publicly with VS?
Well, okay, like let me put it this way. Okay, like lately, like like on one of her streams, she said, I still consider QI a friend, like so, I felt that way too. Basically, I was just looking, like for her to apologize or whatever. But then after like it kept going and kept going and kept going, and then it's like all the blame is like put on me, and then not just her putting blame on me, and everybody saw what happened. Everybody saw what happened, but not just her putting blame on me. It's like just like Baylis. Okay, like so, like the whole time I'm trying to savage their relationship. Okay, And see, like Cynthia R is not in the group and not dealing with TSCC because basically she was trying to fend for and take up for Baylis. Okay, so like basically when Baylis came, like so it's like basically just like when Baylis, was talking to VS or whatever, VS just tried to get her to come online, and she wouldn't come online because she knew that if Cynthia found out after, like Cynthia had, basically got the chopping block for what, for basically defending Baylis, that like she was gonna go out, she was gonna have a problem, with Baylis. I'm sure she has a problem with it now, based on the fact that Baylis back in and she out. So Baylis like caused out what happened with Cynthia R or whatever. So and like the whole time I'm just like I'm the one trying to savage them all. I'm the one trying to savage them both. And so like when we got back, right? Let me tell you this part. So like I never thought Baylis said that, Baylis first of all said that I told her that VS wanted to sleep with I thought VS wanted to sleep with Wiley. Well, I didn't say that. VS did a whole live saying that she was gonna, like she was gonna have a baby. She was gonna sleep with Wiley and have a baby or whatever. So, like basically, not like I'm like, well, that's what they're assuming or whatever. But like really, I didn't never pay any attention to that, and I never thought twice or three times or nothing like that about that because I laughed when she told me the whole time online or whatever. Okay, then Baylis told me, she said, or I mean, on the live, VS was like, Baylis said that I have confronted her. Now keep it like, man, VS ought to know this ain't true because like Baylis after the what you call say QI is mad cool, and then the VS had me calling, calling Baylis and stuff like that to talk to her, and the whole time, it was cool conversation. This is after Cynthia got kicked out after the after like we got back or whatever after the debacle or whatever. So so Baylis knows the whole time, like I'm like the peacemaker. I done shared, everything. So she like I didn't confront her. I never thought like for 1 minute. That's how I know that her because the first thing I was looking at is if VS and Baylis were gonna sleep together or whatever. If that was the case, then I wouldn't have been there because Baylis been in the situation longer than I have. So why was I even there? So like.
I get it, QI, and we could talk about.
Let me just say this. So, like, to get back and to find out, I done went and defended Baylis to all this great extent, and VS knows it. Baylis knows it. And then for her to come and to get herself back in there, she throws me under the bus. That's just like, I'm just like, and then not just that. Let me just say this. I have to say this. Okay, I've never did anything, said anything, had any bad words or anything like that with anybody in TSCC. I've always been cool. And so like, and one of the reasons like I like didn't go over there because just like the day I was trying to find out, she called me about the candy. Okay, so the phone hung up. So I was trying to call, I was gonna go in the chat and say, like tell her that the phone accidentally hung up or whatever. And so, like, I go in the chat and I'm seeing all these people saying all this derogatory stuff about me. None of them know me. None of them have, like, majority of them have never met me. Okay. And they're speaking about stuff they know nothing about. And they're like, nothing is true. Like, Brianna did a whole live acting like, oh, QI this and Q. Like, head boss lady, what you know about the situation? You don't know. So, how you speaking on it? And how are you going off of what this person? Come to the horse. Okay. But like I've been said, I said if people come to me and ask me respectfully, I have no problem answering the question. But see, here's the thing: I'm not the type of person like I'm not just because VS throws me on the bus. I'm a real like or whatever was disrespectful. I'm a real person. If I care about you and I consider you a friend, friends sometimes things happen. I'm not gonna turn around and do tit for tat because I don't think the two wrongs make a right. Somebody got to be mature. And then somebody got to be able to work it out or talk it out. But then it's just like to constantly hear people over there, just like even I think somebody had told me the Wiley over there talking about the DC gate was my fault. Wiley know darn well, and you can ask, ask Deshaun. He knows darn well that
honestly, at this point, I understand you want to get it out, but you're beating dead horses.
I'm not gonna,
because they're going to keep on saying things, and whoever
I don't care.
Believe them is going to believe them.
As long as it came out my mouth, because that's why I'm doing this.
And
Because
I'm pretty sure from this point
it needs
on,
to be
we
recorded.
all know that you're not lying about your
I
truth.
need to say what I need to say because people around here, and I'm nothing like, and they know I'm nothing like these, what they're trying to present. Who would be jealous of Wiley? Who would be jealous of fucking Baylis? I don't have no problem. When I was in DC, when we went to that doggone boat, those women kept my glasses full because they was flirting with me. I don't have problems picking up women. Like a lot of times I don't even have to come on to women. Women come on to me. I like this situation right here is the most settled, like the most inactive that I've been because I'm caring for my grandmother. So I can't leave and go like I want to, but I like to travel, like to have fun. I've always been a part of organization. I have friends, you know what I'm saying? I've always been and I've never had a problem getting a woman. And most of the women that I have been with have been fine. So, and I'm just like, I don't like now, don't, Baylis, you're the desperate person. You got mad. Let me tell the truth. You got mad because it didn't dawn on me until after I got back and until after VS told me that you said that if I was QI and you was my girl, I would have gotten the truck. And what y'all don't know is when I was in doing the interview with Babe, I wasn't trying to, Baylis almost pissed me off to the point where I almost went in because I look in the chat. Why you didn't get in the truck QI? And see, VS had already told me she said that. And so my whole point is your whole trip was paid for. My trip wasn't paid for. You got money put in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody should have been down there before me, it should have been you. Okay.
I want you to express yourself. Wait a minute. I want you to express yourself, but I need to say this. For everybody in this chat, please be respectful or get out. Period. If you don't like QI, get out of the chat. I cannot take all of this. Like, seriously, you're being very disrespectful. And I need the minds, if they say something that's derogatory towards QI, kick them out.
That little stuff, like I said, for people who don't know me, all they doing is running their yap. All they doing is running their yap because they don't know nothing. So that don't bother me. That don't bother me. And then some people are just so negative. They like crabs in a barrel. Like they miserable and want the next person to be miserable. So I'm not
gotta be in here. You got your own channel. Go on that.
But okay. But but like you made me, interrupt me.
I'm sorry. Go off, girl. Go off. It's about time. Go off. You was talking about Baylis.
I forgot. I was in the midst of a point. I forgot what it was. But anyways, it was just like she's over there trying to throw me under the bus. Oh, okay. So I didn't even think about this at first. Just like I said earlier, the QI Critical Ugly video that was playing when I came out the shower. It took me a long time to put all these pieces together, right? Then, after we got back, Baylis said, Baylis was saying things like even when we were there, she would say little things. I'm like, all right, she said, so me and VS would have never made it. And I told VS, I said, Baylis was like, so, Baylis said, well, so me and VS would have never made it. Why would you tell me something like that? How, why would you tell? And so I'm like, Okay, so I'm still putting these pieces together. I'm not running with it. Okay, so then I put it together that Baylis knew Baylis knew that her plane was not scheduled to leave to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now why didn't nobody schedule no hotel? Okay, so just say if I didn't have a room, right? Where would Baylis, they was gonna have to get a hotel room for Baylis, or Baylis was gonna have to go to VS house, right? Okay, so the next morning we get up. I'm thinking she mad at the same thing that I'm mad at because VS done left us and went put herself in danger. She mad for a whole different reason. She mad but she over there right now trying to say things about me that really applies to her. Outside April said, a long time, she said, she over there just begging and begging and begging. When she first got there, I'm about to move here or whatever, move here. I ain't like, okay, yeah, cool, you having fun. I like it here too. I'm thinking about moving here too. But like I had to put all of this stuff together. But the problem is, it's like I don't have nothing to do with that, Baylis. I don't have nothing to do with that. And then I wasn't the one, just like Wiley talking about I ruined. No, I didn't. Wiley really didn't even ruin the trip, to be honest with you. Really, he really didn't ruin the trip. It was just that we had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which nobody wanted to do to go get him. But he really didn't ruin the trip. Who ruined it was Baylis. Who won the team was Baylis. And I even told her, I said, why would you let the devil win? And she know it. I said, why would you let the devil win? Well, it's already ruined. And she was right there, like everybody heard it. Her and Cynthia are together, decided to close down them accounts. Because like I was trying to salvage the relationship into that. After that, I said, why y'all do that? Why you didn't tell? Because I'm just like, well, she wasn't supposed to do it until the next day. That's what she said. Okay, so I'm just like, why you didn't tell her not to do it? Because you planned to do it too. You was in it too. And the whole time, Cynthia over there defending you, and so you done let this girl get thrown under this lady who meant more and was better for BS than you, because all you did was download videos. You done let her get thrown under the bus. Then you want to come back, and you was the one who did all this bullshit. And you want to try to put this shit off on me. Not gonna work, my homie. And you the desperate person. You the stalker. And I rest my case on that, because I don't like nobody to do that kind of stuff. And and sneaky. I don't like nobody like that. You sneaky, you playing, you lying. And see, VS ought to be able to read through the lines on this. She crazy for believing her, because she knew all of this stuff.
Well,
but I'm just saying, but I'm done with that. I had to go off on that because it was just like when I heard her. See, reason everybody I've been responding to VS, because like I was listening one day and VS was like, and I just found out this from Baylis, that Baylis said that QI told, well, she didn't say my name. She said the person I didn't do nothing to. Now, first of all, VS, that wasn't true. You did. I got left. Most of the stuff happened to me. Okay, but anyways, it's like this. The person that she said, the person that I ain't even do nothing to, like said some things that she said, like the sleep with Wiley part, and then I checked her about, and Baylis, no, that's a fucking lie. And so then I text VS and I said, I hope she ain't talking about me, because she lying. I ain't say it. Then it's like more and more stuff coming out. And then I found out Wiley over there trying to say, y'all ain't been about to have this. Y'all not about to do me like this. I'm not Fruity Looms. I'm not crazy. I've never been suicidal. What I was saying was, it was like I was frustrated that night. And so when I got on here, the night I cried or whatever, it was just like I was trying to vent, because I was frustrated, like with stuff that had happened with my grandmother. And I'd rather vent, and because you have to be patient when it comes to older people. I'd rather vent and get it off my chest than, to not be able to be patient with my grandma. So when I came on here, I need to vent. And then, I started grieving and thinking about my auntie. And so I cried. It wasn't nothing about being weak. It was about time, because I've always tried to be strong for everybody else in my family. So it was just like, it was about time for me to cry, because I haven't did it, because I've been trying to be strong. So it was about time. So I'm not mad about that. It's like that needed to happen. But it had nothing to do with none of that. Maybe a little stress coming from that way, from the Mess Express, but it was more so due to my family issue. And then it was just like, y'all trying to say I'm suicidal? No. And then some of the stuff, like on some of the videos, you could see me taking a shower, coming out the shower or whatever, when she was trying to sneak and show my booty. All right. Every night or whatever, I took a shower. And she know that. And then I'm over there like I'm disappointed, like Lady Nika, you over there talking about, and where you get that from? And then and it's just like, I supported Lady Nika. I did a lot for Lady Nika too. I've been nothing but nice to Lady Nika. So to hear her sit over there, and then her and Bless, it's like I didn't expect that from them. It's like just like when Miss Bunny, Okay, you never seen me bash like none of them people. Like some people like Brianna, everybody get put out the group. She going in, then she come back. Well, I might have said this or whatever. You don't trust people like that because that means that they ain't cool with nobody. And some of them people she was real close with. Like she was real close to Vonnie, real close to Crystal. Soon as they got kicked out, here she go wham talking about them. That means she gonna talk about wham you. That means she gonna talk about everybody, just like she was talking about. I noticed she got that characteristics or whatever. But with me, I don't care who got when Miss Vonnie got kicked out. You didn't see me in there dragging her. When Cynthia R, you didn't see me in there dragging her. When Baylis, you didn't see me in there chatting or nothing like that dragging her. That's not the kind of person I am. So just like it applies to VS, where because I was cool with her, I'm not gonna drag her. It applied to them too. So for Baylis to come back and do stuff like that, that showed me how fake, phony, and how sneaky and desperate she is. And don't put that off on me. You stand in your truth. You desperate, not me. Stand in your own truth. Stand in your own shit. All the shit you did, you need to fess up. You did. I didn't do it. I didn't do none of that stuff. I ain't shut down no accounts. I didn't get mad and go get in no Uber and lie about being in an accident. I didn't do it. That was you.
QI, we've been going at it for an hour and 35 minutes. And girl, I think you got your point across, boo. I really do.
Because I'm like, it just, I just had to get it off my chest.
Okay. And at this point, I want to kind of end this, get this down. Let's just end this now because it's on a good note, in my opinion, because to me, you validated all your feelings. You debunked all the lies. You let everybody know where you're going from here on in. And again, you are being just as organic and natural as you have always been. And people either are going to accept it or they're not. And if they don't, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay, so like
that being said, I appreciate you.
Thank y'all for coming through. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm like y'all know this ain't me. I don't like, like I'm all about, being spiritual. I'm about unity, love, and all that kind of stuff. So, like this ain't me. This ain't like what I really like to, this ain't what I really like to do or whatever. And so I avoided it at all costs. So I apologize, but I had to, I just had to do it because it's like the more I keep hearing, it's like I had to, just go ahead and do it. So y'all, thank y'all for coming through. And I apologize that y'all had to, hear, this today or whatever. And love, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And
can I hear my song?
Look, okay. And look, but BB, tomorrow we're gonna do the Flame of Roll. Or you hear me?
I hear you.
So when you want to do the Flame of Roll?
We can do it if not tomorrow, because tomorrow is for the kids. So if we can do it maybe Saturday in the daytime, I'm cool. I mean Sunday. I'm sorry, Sunday afternoon. I'm cool with that. Okay.
All right. So y'all heard it here first from BB herself. Like we're gonna try to like I went to the dentist and I forgot about that Novocaine, but it was the 20th. It was what do y'all call Mercury retrograde, so we're gonna blame it on that. So we're gonna do it for Sunday. But thank y'all for understanding. Love y'all, and I'm gonna let y'all go out on the song. Peace, love, and light to the family.
Até o chão.